guys, I'm so excited to make this video. I actually am so lucky to be at the Ritz-Carlton tonight for one night with my girlfriend who is working and happened to have this room. It's a great opportunity for me to come here, stay for one night with her, keep her company, and see our other college girlfriend and kind of catch up and have a little recharge. And that's what this video is about, is like, how do you recharge your batteries? How do you fit in still feeling like a woman when you're busy with your job and your parents and your kids and your spouse and running your household and your animals and et cetera, et cetera. So I have to say one of my best things I do to recharge is self-care. And I build in a little bit of that every day into my routine. Now, I didn't always do that, and I would find myself sometimes falling into bed with my makeup still on and not moisturizing, or sometimes even not brushing my teeth. Like, I would just be so exhausted by the end of the day. So what I ended up doing was moving dinner like a half an hour up. So I'm trying to get dinner on the table at 5:30 or 6, and then we go through dishes and homework and the whole rigmarole with all 5 kids. And then I'm trying to go up to my bedroom by like 8:30 or 9, and the kids can still be milling about. The baby might be in the bathtub, but I'm starting my own routine, getting my makeup off, putting my moisturizer on, brushing, flossing, all the things that I want to do to feel good. And that process of sort of like even just physical self-love for me is a really big deal, because at the end of it, like I know something good's going on for my skin and my neck, and my hair's pulled off of my face. Just really makes me feel good. My skin's all nice and fresh, and I feel like it's had the whole night to soak in moisturizer and regenerate itself, and it's a great start to the morning. I would also say that one of the most important things you can do is get enough sleep. Now, if you don't get sleepy at night and you can't fall asleep, there's several things that you can do. One of the things that I do is read. It's really important to treat yourself to whatever it is that you need to get to sleep. It could be meditation, doing some yoga poses before you go to bed, rain sound. You need to get a good night's sleep so that your body can take care of itself while you're sleeping. And I think sometimes as moms, we forget, like, we are the temperature of the home. Our attitudes set the tone for how the house runs. We're crazy and busy and stressed, and we can't even smile, and we're like a cold breeze when we walk in the house. That makes everybody else feel ill at ease, and it's not good for anybody. So it's really important that you care for, I hate to say it, like the most important person in the house is the mama, because you're setting the tone for everybody. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. Use that schedule to make a plan to take a day of like nothing. So where you don't have anything scheduled, you don't have any sports scheduled, you don't have any dates with friends out, you just have a nothing day. Sometimes it's really important to wake up, go for a walk, and spend the day in your loungewear. We got some really great loungewear at Costco, and it's like our favorite thing. If we get to wear loungewear, we know we're not going anywhere. I literally just no bra, no shoes, comfy clothes, hanging out at the house all day, not expecting company, and it's just a day for us to take it down a notch and chill out. It's really important to do that. Sometimes I think we're so overwhelmed by all of the obligations we have, whether you're taking care of your parents or whether your kids are involved in a lot of sports. Maybe your child has special needs and you're going to a lot of therapies, whatever that season of your life is. Sometimes I think we're so caught up in it that when we do get a free moment, it's like, okay, now what do I do? So I think it's important to have a little list in your date book, or whatever. This is like my little schedule, literally got it at Target. Sometimes I make notes in it, like for the week. Sometimes I use it as a calendar. Oftentimes we're using it as a coloring book, whatever. But this is my book, and I have one of these every year, and then at the end of the year I just kind of save it. So if I ever want to go back and take a look at like Cooper's writing from 2002, I still have that book. In this schedule, I have written down like who I am, because I forget sometimes, like, what do I like to do? I literally like to go somewhere and window shop in silence. So sometimes I literally forget, like, what do I like? Like, okay, so now I have 2 hours of downtime. What do I want to do? So I have in my notebook literally reminders. I know that's so sad, but I like really literally remind myself, okay, I like to take a nice hot tub with candles with no one knocking on the door. That's a really awesome one. That is great for sleeping too, by the way. I like to hike. I love to tidy, so whatever that is for you. Like, I love to have time to myself to pull out the whole dresser and reorganize it. Whatever that happy thing is for you, Write those things down so that when you have a couple hours and you want to figure out what it is you want to do, you can actually remember what you want to do. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just got a knock on the door and it was room service and they brought me up a cookie and some milk. Oh my gosh, I'm literally in heaven. This is a quiet room with a fluffy bed and I just got a cookie and milk. Okay, I'm like gonna have an orgasm. I'm so happy right now. It doesn't take much. So the best advice I've ever gotten and the best advice I will ever give about recharging your batteries is surround yourself with people who recharge you. If you're hanging out with people and at the end of it you're like, that felt awkward, or that felt competitive, or that was the opposite of restful. Maybe you feel like a little bit exhausted because it was such a negative experience. You're really barking up the wrong tree and you're spending your time with the wrong people. The feeling that you want to have is that you want to hang out with people that you're like, wow, that was so cool hanging out with Vicky. She is so amazing. I love her smile. Every time I'm around her, she makes me feel great about myself. And I always learn something new about classic rock when I'm with Vicky. That's the kind of people that you want to be with. That it doesn't matter like what the thing is, but that you enjoy your time with that person. That makes it valuable, and that's a big deal. That's the opposite of negative. So you want to stick with people who inspire you, who make you feel good about yourself, who fill you up and really recharge you. So it's really important to spend your time with people like that if it's possible. Learning something new or getting inspired by somebody else who is going through something similar but maybe tackling it in a different way can be a great way to recharge your batteries, because it makes you feel like there might be a fresh approach. So maybe if you're struggling with dealing with a behavioral issue with one of your kids, I love to turn off the tasks of the day and just stop and listen to a really good podcast or hear about something that I didn't know about. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but I absolutely went nuts over this sort of like mountain climbing series. One was called Meru. It just came up, I think, on Netflix, MERU, amazing. So then I went and watched the Dawn Wall, and then I went and watched Free Solo, and this isn't because I want to become a mountain climber. This is because it's something I didn't know anything about, and it's a great way for me to sort of escape, be entertained by something that I don't know anything about. Sometimes as a mom, stay-at-home mom, working mom, mom with kids who have launched and they're off in college but they just call you for money, there's all kinds of ways of being a mom. But sometimes you have to give yourself your own pats on the back. So making a list of all of the things that you're doing right and that you're hitting the nail on the head can be really helpful, because you can't always count on your very self-centered teenagers to say, you know, Mom, I really appreciate that you have groceries on, the lights are on, school supplies in the house, and you know, thank you for taking me to the dentist. My kids never say that. My kids are like pissed when I take them to the dentist because they don't want to go to the dentist. Well, you have to go to the dentist or your teeth will fall out of your face. It's really important to have good dental hygiene. So you're not going to get that from your teenagers. And sometimes maybe your spouse or your partner is too busy to give you those pats right when you need them. So it's important to be able to like self-pat. I have to do that for myself sometimes. It sounds corny, but it's the truth. Like sometimes I'm like, wow, I am really doing good, you know, I'm not having like mental breakdowns. This family is progressing forward. We're being able to pay our bills. We're dealing with outside stress appropriately. We're not letting outside things affect us. We're able to touch base with each and every one of our kids. My husband and I still have a really loving relationship, even though we have a lot of demands on us from having so many children. I give myself those pats on the back because it's true. I am kicking ass, and I bet you are too. If you've got kids and you're trying hard and you're watching stuff on YouTube or watching TED Talks trying to figure out how to be a better parent, I bet you're doing really good. So it's really important. You know, maybe your mom was your biggest fan and she's not around anymore. Maybe your husband's gone on a business trip when you really need someone to tell you you're doing great. So you have to learn how to be able to get outside of yourself and view yourself as someone other than yourself, as confusing as that sounds, and just say to yourself, man, you did a really good job. You kicked ass today. One of the best ways I know to combat mom fatigue is to have a sense of humor. So You can imagine with having 5 kids how much of a sense of humor I need, especially because we've got a 2-year-old who's potty, and then we've got a 17-year-old who's grounded for having bad grades and wants to know if he can get the night out because he's been cooped up all week. You just have to have a sense of humor when you're parenting. And if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. Like literally, I had a child come home with the worst BO last week. Appointment on the way home, I can smell this child. I tell this child again about the deodorant, and it's not the first time we've been through it. We get home, the child goes back up in the shower. I tell the child, you have to come back downstairs immediately to help with chores we were doing. Like an hour goes by and I've lost track because I've got 4 other people who need my attention, and I'm trying to do dinner and dog and all that stuff. In her room, reading a book, in a towel, has forgot to put deodorant on again and had to take the 3rd shower of the day. I was so annoyed, but you have to keep a sense of humor. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, I could either laugh or cry. So I just was like, oh my gosh, seriously. Oh, you need to keep a sense of humor because shit's gonna happen, shit's gonna go down. It's not always easy, it's not always pretty. I literally dropped a smoothie. I was ready to go out the door today for my big like girls' night out, here to see my girlfriends. I took my time, I curled my hair and everything. I had a different shirt on and I dropped my smoothie, and literally I couldn't even see that because there's lemon juice in the smoothie. My eyes just burning, there's green all over me, all down my shirt. It is what it is. So by having a sense of humor, I kind of like mopped up my hair, I changed my shirt, and out the door I went. I literally still have smoothie on my pants. So I just have to have a sense of humor. Keeps me laughing, and there's so much to laugh at and so much good stuff in life that it seems like, I don't know, just works for me. I like to laugh. A way that I really find to recharge my batteries is self-forgiveness. So I'm just not perfect. I'm so far from perfect. So self-forgiveness is a really big deal to me, being able to say, I have an ego. I don't want to spend all my time crafting. Can be self-centered sometimes, but you know what? I'm also awesome. I'm a great mom. I put a lot of time and effort into my kids, and I really legit love my kids. I love the adopted ones, the step ones, the biological ones, the half-sisters, the whole sister. I love having them around me. I love feeding them. I love cooking for them. So when it comes to me as a mom, I feel like the good definitely outweighs the bad. And so I just have to sort of like try and learn and move on from the things when I make mistakes and not dwell on, you know, well, I'm not doing so good at that. Unfortunately, sometimes when I'm feeling overwhelmed or I need to recharge, instead of turning to the things that I know that would be really helpful, like getting good sleep or meditating or all that kind of stuff, I turn to like a glass of champagne and a night out or a really rich dinner out with food. And that's not necessarily always something that sort of recharges my batteries. It does run up the credit card. You know, champagne has a lot of sugar in it, so sometimes I don't feel so great the next day. So it's really important to be mindful about what you turn to. You know, like you're stressed out, that doesn't mean you need to go to the pantry and get the package of Oreos and start going for it. Find ways that are actually really good for you that are going to pay off in the long run, whether it's journaling or meditating or having quiet time or watching a comedy that makes you laugh your ass off and so you just kind of forget your worries for a little bit, or taking a hot tub. But I know one of the things about recharging my batteries that I definitely wanted to say was that sometimes I go to the wrong things and I end up being sorry later that I didn't make a better choice, because it didn't end up recharging my batteries. It ended up setting my diet back or like leaving me hungover the next day, sometimes leaving my credit card maxed out. So I just wanted to say that. Okay, that is my video on self-care, recharging, and taking care of yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your day.